My name is Arians Huggins. This is my week 6 video to my assignment. So we'll go ahead and start off with question 1. It states, how does research on life conditions that accelerate telomere shortening illustrate the joint influence of hereditary and environment on biological aging? Um, so telomeres are the ends of aging genes that shorten over time. The shortening causes aging to move along faster, which allows them to be more prone to disease. The more a cell duplicates itself, the more likely it is to become more cancerous. This can, this can be greatly affected by environment. Having a healthy lifestyle is very important. The more you take care of your body, the slower these caps are shortened, and vice versa. The harder you are on your body can speed this up. Things like smoking, obesity, and stress are all environmental factors. Hereditary factors are also to blame, such as disease passed down like cardiovascular disease. People also inherit risk factors and protective factors, which influence their chances of dying earlier or later, like hand grip muscle strength, respiratory capacity, blood pressure, bone density, and overall physical health. Free radicals can affect this. When released, they cause damage to surrounding cellular material and DNA, which raises your risk of getting neurological impairments, cancer, cataracts, and arthritis. As you can see, there are many reasons why a telomere shortens, but there are also things like working out, eating healthy, and engaging in mentally stimulating activities that can slow this process down. The second question is, why are people in committed relationships likely to be more sexually active and satisfied than those who are dating several partners? So committed relationships can be very complicated, and being satisfied can be a difficult balancing act. People who are in a committed relationship are more sexually active and better satisfied than ones who are dating around. This simply comes down to building a loving relationship and faithfulness. When you are dating around, you are more likely to have anxiety due to mistrust. On top of that, hookups cause low self-esteem, depression, and regret due to trying to satisfy a physical need instead of building a bond. Generally, in short relationships, both people are thinking about what the other person can give to them, whereas in committed relationships, each partner works on giving more than they receive. This forms an interdependent, symbiotic relationship where the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. Overall, sex is just not a physical act. It's an emotional bond of two people who have a trusting relationship with each other. Question number 3 says, how does expertise affect information process, and why is expertise necessary but not the same as creativity? To explain the difference between creativity and expertise, let us use 3 examples in the world of art. The first example would be that of a forager. A forager may be able to perfectly recreate the Mona Lisa. Through his expertise, he understands the exact type of paint he must use, every agonizing detail of her smile, and even the canvas he should paint on. He can make a beautiful copy, but without creativity, he cannot create something new. Next, someone should be able to envision new and wondrous art, but not be able to draw a straight line. This person may be creative, but without expertise, they cannot bring their vision into life. This takes someone who is both creative and has expertise to make something that is both original and beautiful. Even painters who create art in strange and unrealistic ways always had to know how to paint something realistically first. Many famous painters like Pablo Picasso or Vincent van Gogh painted in incredibly unique and creative styles, but they also can paint a portrait so realistic that you would think it was a photograph. In order to be creative, they must have an expert first. The fourth question is, what students in college environment characteristics contribute to favorable psychological changes during the college years? College is usually the first big adventure into adulthood that causes many to experience a great physiological change. During these, or sorry, a great psychological change. During these years, college students gain understanding of their ethics, values, and moral reasoning. College brings all sorts of people from all over the world. This allows students' diversity to grow and to be challenged. College students are finally without adult supervision, which allows them to experience freedoms like problem solving. Where they once would ask their caregivers to help, they now have the opportunity to figure things out on their own, which can cause their self-esteem to rise. Lastly, this is the time to figure out who they are and what they want to be in the future. Overall, the college experience vastly improves many emotional, cognitive, and intellectual growth development. The fifth question is, what cultural changes have led to the emergence of the period known as emerging adulthood? So there are several factors that led to the surfacing of emerging adulthood. The big factors are due to feeling in between adolescence and adulthood. Identity exploration, especially in love, work, and worldview. Self-focus, not self-centered but lacking obligations to others. Instability, frequent changes in living arrangements, relationships, education, and work. And possibilities. People are going to school later in life. Responsibilities are put on the back burner for travel and focusing on themselves, while having children comes later. Most people are not considered stable adults due to not fitting into their social clock status. For example, I 100% fall into the emerging adulthood category. I could not afford college right after high school, nor did I know what I wanted to do with my life. I took classes here and there at community colleges and got a couple of different certificates and worked at several different places. I lived with my parents and friends on and off, but never owned or rented anything by myself. I started college at 24 and married at 25. I will not be buying a home or having children anytime soon. Although I did not hit my social clocks, I am very happy where I am today. I have a better understanding of how the world works and the responsibilities of being an adult. The emerging adulthood stage is a stage developed because of the lackadaisical lifestyle. People are no longer in a rush to get a 4-year degree, get married, or buy a house and have children. It is a time for exploring themselves and finding out who they want to be, while not rushing into the major life changes. The last question is number 6, and it states, according to Levinson, how do the life structures of men and women differ? Levinson's theory illustrates adult development as a series of qualitative definite errors, involving that life formation is the underlying plan of a person's life, consisting of relationships with individuals, groups, and institutions. However, men and women differ in this theory. When we are kids, we dream about being adults. These dreams or goals usually end up directing their decision making in the future. For example, men tend to be career motivated at young ages, whereas women tend to focus on a split of getting married and career goals, and allowing more time for these. Men are also able to settle down in their careers in their 30s and be more stable in them, which is opposite for women who oftentimes, because of child caregiving, must take more breaks in between careers to raise children, which adds on occupational or relationship commitment at a later time. Overall, men are eager. They get to their career they want fast in order to be more established, while with women, individual goals come later in life and allow more time to be developed in this expertise.